Hey, it's Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show, and you are listening to The Daily Dose. Today's going to be a short one. It's June 20th, so we're coming off of Father's Day weekend and the first official federal celebration of Juneteenth. So a lot of us had a long weekend. I hope you did. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it. But that being said, there wasn't a lot of real estate and housing news today. All the markets were closed, no live interest rate market. We were locking rates today based on Friday's rate sheet. So did want to share one point. I had a very interesting conversation today with a friend of mine who's far smarter than I am, longtime industry professional. And we were just, chopping it up regarding the state of the market and, my old adage, supply and demand. And I was challenging, where is all the supply going to come from to ease the pressure of the buying demand that we still see even at these interest rates? So we were going back and forth, and we both acknowledge and agree that most likely we're going to see some pullback in some neighborhoods. And again, if you've listened to the Mr. Mortgage Show for any length of time or followed us on Facebook, you know that I believe some neighborhoods are going to see depreciation. There are certainly some neighborhoods out there that got pulled along this appreciation cycle and sold at record high prices just because there was no other inventory available. And my friend Juan, who's been on the show with me in the past, says any house with a pulse sold in this most recent period of time. He means something that wasn't maintained or wasn't updated still fetched a record price because there was no inventory, a pullback. Those homes in those neighborhoods will likely see a pullback because as more inventory does come to the market and people have choices, that home is no longer going to be appealing. In order to get top dollar moving forward, you're going to have to be offering a superior product, whether it's updated or maintained well or the super desirable neighborhood, whatever the case may be. But we all know those neighborhoods. Some of us drive home to them and some of us drive through them. They are certainly wonderful neighborhoods. I'm not disparaging the neighborhood, but they're just not of today's styling preferences, meaning there's no den for a home office. There are not 9 or 10 foot ceilings. There are no walk-in closets. Some of the homes don't have a garage. They have a carport. Maybe there's only one bath instead of 2 or 2.5 baths. You know what I mean? The 50 or 60-year-old home that has had no updates. So those neighborhoods will most likely see a pullback and yes, some depreciation. But I think the conversation of today did support the overall view that right now where we stand today is a fragile economy, record inflation, moving into a recession with rapidly increasing interest rates. All of that is going to put pressure on demand. It's just harder to afford things right now. When you're spending over $100 to fill your gas tank, and your $150 worth of groceries is now $300, there's some significant pressure in the market. However, housing historically does well in this environment. And I posted it on the Facebook page. You're going to buy a house. That's really not a choice. The only choice you have is, are you going to buy one for yourself or are you going to buy one for your landlord? I share all that just to encourage you to remain cautiously optimistic. And I said cautiously because you certainly need to look before you leap, negotiate the best possible price you can. And the one encouraging thing about this market, or I guess there's a couple encouraging things. As a buyer, there's less competition. And as we go into a level market, and who knows, we might tip into a buyer's market, you're going to have the ability to negotiate a better price, a seller contribution. And with rates where they are today, I'm encouraging people, if you can, use that seller contribution to buy down the interest rate. In the past, the seller contribution was primarily used to pay closing costs, but a great way to use it right now is to buy down the rate if it's a home you want to be in for any significant period of time. So anyway, I don't have any real estate news to share today. As I mentioned, the markets were closed, and tomorrow we jump right back in, get back at it. So, and tune in tomorrow. We'll have the real estate news that you are used to hearing. So again, my name is Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show. If you'd like to check the show out, we're live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on iHeartRadio. You can find us on the iHeart app, or you can check out themrmortgageshow.com. And there you'll find all of the Daily Dose episodes as well as all the show replays. And if you're curious to see what data sets we use, you want to see the charts and the articles that we go through in preparing for each Saturday show, just go to Facebook and search The Mr. Mortgage Show. You'll find the Facebook page, and there a ton of data. We encourage your comments on Facebook, and we would really appreciate the likes and shares as we are trying to build out that audience. So again, my name is Mark Eitel. You've been listening to The Daily Dose, and we'll talk again tomorrow.